Uh, Let me start by saying this is a very tough subject to translate, so please bear with me and forgive me for any mistakes ahead of time. Today's khutbah, the Sheikh is talking about some afflictions, some of the trials that we all go through in our society. Something that's really is facing every person in Islam, in our homes, in our families, in our society. And which is, the word is ilhad. I'm not going to translate the word that I know, but I'm going to give the definition that the Sheikh has given, which, according to Amja and their conference, ilhad is anything that deviate from the truth, from the straight path, from the obedience of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned it 6 times in the Quran. The Sheikh gave several examples. One of them, that to Allah belongs all the great attributes, and so ask Allah Azza wa Jal with His great attributes and His names, and stay away from those who make ilhad in His names, meaning they call Him and they change the names and the meaning of those names of Allah Azza wa Jal. It's either that or they completely denies Allah's name, like the disbelievers at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they denied the name of Ar-Rahman to Allah Azza wa Jal, the gracious, the merciful. So when you deviate from the truth, from the straight path, that is ilhad. Or when they claim that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was learning this religion from someone who is not an Arab. He's a foreign to the Arab culture, that he is the one who taught them this religion. And Allah Azza wa Jal defended and put this aside by saying that the tongue, meaning the language that this boy is talking with, is Ajami, is like something foreign. And this Quran is pure Arabic. There's no way someone who's a foreign will be able to come up with something like the Quran, especially at that time when the pure Arabic was the language of the land. And other places that Allah Azza wa Jal had mentioned in the Quran. So, ilhad is to think of material things that is the only thing that rules, and there is no existence of Allah Azza wa Jal, and denies Allah's existence. And this is contradictory to what the disbelievers did at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Because if you ask any of them, meaning the believers, the disbelievers at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, who created heavens and earth, they'll say Allah. And but they do believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, but they do not follow His commandment. They do not follow Him. And when the Prophet ﷺ asked one of them, how many you worship today? He said, I worship six idols, 6 in this earth and 1 in heaven. And he said, who will you turn to in the time of real need? He said, the one in heavens. So they did believe in the existence of Allah. They did believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, but they used these idols to get closer to Allah, as they claim. And then the Shaykh has talked about another term called az-zandaqa, which is not to believe in the resurrection, of coming back after death. And unfortunately, this is widespread in the Muslim communities nowadays. And the Sheikh has mentioned some of the poets who said that this is something of an illusion and so on and so forth. And some of them, they denied eating the meat, saying, or anything that has soul, saying they want to be merciful to animals. As if they are questioning Allah Azza wa Jal and His messenger. His messenger who came with moderation. He used to eat, he used to sleep, he used to marry, and so on. And he said anybody who turns away from his sunnah, from his path, is not among the followers of the Prophet ﷺ. So ilhad is to believe in the existence of materialistic things and to deny Allah's existence. But how could a term like this exist in a community that believes in Allah, that recite the Quran at all the times? And the Sheikh said that we have to look at some of these reasons. One of them is personal problems with no protection from their faith, from the person's faith. Like the people who worship Allah Azza wa Jal, only if He gives them, provide for them, if He gives them, they live in luxury, they're happy and they believe in Allah. But if Allah Azza wa Jal will test that faith by holding some of their wealth or anything way Allah tests them with, they immediately reject and they come out of Islam. And the other thing is could be a cultural problems that they go through, just like the ones they went in Europe, where, you know, the church and the rulers, they made a lot of, they changed their religion so they could dominate the society. And when people rebelled against this ideologies, they wanted to kill every king, every priest, or every church. And they wanted to apply the same thing to our culture, where in our religion of Islam never denied any scientist from following the science and pursue it in any way he wants. Even if there is a contradiction, we never heard of any scientist who was killed or slaughtered just because of his scientific adventures. Simply because we do not write the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. We never rewrote the book of Allah Azza wa Jal like they did in other religions and other cultures. And another thing that we feel like we are lowered when it comes to other cultures, when we compare ourselves to other cultures. And also the extremism in the religion. And those who go to the extreme in religion, they don't know how to be patient, and they cannot find an answer of their current situation. So instead of, you know, trying to go back to the basics, you find them, they go to the extreme in their ideologies. And we are hit by two types of extremism here. The Sheikh has mentioned, which is the false scholars who don't qualify to be scholars to talk about Islam, and also those who go in extreme in religion, like the young people who, when they see people talk about Islam and they go to the extreme in their thoughts and their ideologies, and they reject them all, and you find them go away completely out of Islam, which really leads them to extremism. But what is the solution to fight this ideology of Ilhad? The Sheikh has given us one of the solutions is to separate between the value and those who are holding it together. And he gave a very beautiful example. He said, well, all of us know that in medicine, there's a lot of doctors who make mistakes. And some people die because of the mistakes of the doctors, whether they're intentional or unintentional. But because of those mistakes, do you go and say, well, we have to stop this, to have doctors, we don't want nobody to learn how to be a doctor, or we have to completely stop medicine? Of course, that don't make sense. And the same thing about the religion. Just because some few make mistakes, and whether intentionally or unintentionally, you cannot apply the same thing of completely deserting and leaving the religion. In Islam, the only one who don't make mistake is the Prophet ﷺ. Anybody else you could take from him or take back from him. And one of the things that don't help is when we see some of those who call people to Allah Azza wa Jal, some of the scholars, they go from one way to the other extreme way just because of change in political situation or their financial situation. That they will be in one side, in one ideology, and all of a sudden they go to the other extreme that confuse you on why they're doing this. And the Prophet ﷺ told us not to be among those who make people stay away from the religion. And he's talking about the companions. And he was talking to one of the companions who used to just make the prayers a little bit longer. That act, even though it is a good act, I mean, it's a correct act, he didn't do nothing wrong or haram, but that act is having the wrong results on people on people and society. So he, alayhi salatu wasalam, advised us not to do an act that's going to have the wrong effect or the negative effect on people. In particular, to help the oppressors on their oppression because of livelihood or something in this life. And the only solution, the only way out of this whole problem, if we start applying the same principles that the first generation of Muslims applied, which is go back to our roots in Islam and hold tight to it. May Allah make us among those who survive in the Day of Judgment.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك، ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك، ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا. ومتعنا بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقوتنا ما أبقيتنا، واجعله الوارث منا، واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا، وانصرنا على من عادانا، ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا، ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا ولا إلى النار مصيرنا، واجعل الجنة دارنا وقرارنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم انصر المستضعفين من المسلمين في المشارق والمغارب. اللهم عليك بأعدائك وأعدائهم فإنهم لا يعجزونك. اللهم أرنا فيهم عجائب قدرتك، إنك نعم المولى ونعم النصير. اللهم اشف مرضى المسلمين عامة ومرضانا في هذا المسجد خاصة. اللهم أذهب عنهم الباس رب الناس. اشف وأنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك، شفاء لا يغادر سقما. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات، إنك يا مولانا سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. آمين آمين. والله يقول الحق وهو يهدي السبيل، وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.